So today we are going to sow these pepper seeds. So here I have a planter. So whenever I'm planting seeds, I like to have a divided planter so that when some saplings are growing in one pod and if I remove it, others are not disturbed. Now this one has good drainage at the bottom, which is very important. And then for the soil, it's mostly cocoa peat. So like 3 parts cocoa peat and half part perlite and half part compost. Because for seeds to germinate, they need moist soil. So cocoa peat helps in that, and they don't need any nutrition till the time they have developed roots. So that's why there's little bit of compost, which is enough for the saplings to grow. And then once they are transplanted, you can transplant them to a soil which has a lot of compost in it. So here are the seeds. They are really tiny seeds, as you can tell. So you want to remove a little bit of soil from the top, which I have already done, and I'm just going to scatter these seeds in the soil. And now I'm just going to cover it with a little bit of soil. So general rule of thumb is that if the soil on top of the seed should be like 4 times the size of the seed. So bigger the seed, the deeper it goes. So now I'm going to water it thoroughly so that all the soil is wet, and then I'm going to keep it inside because outside it is still pretty cold, and these are summer seeds. So you want to give them warmth. So because seeds require two things, humid environment, moist soil, and warmth. So that's why I'm going to keep it inside. And the other thing is that it's very important to label your planter, because if you have planted a few of them, you won't know which one is which. So I'm going to label it, and as they start to grow, I'll keep you posted. It's been about 2 weeks that we planted these pepper seeds, and a few of them have grown. And in the daytime, I bring them outside to give them some sunlight. Uh, they are, in a partial sun area where they get some sunlight and some shade, so that way they will grow healthy. If you keep them inside, then they may become leggy. So sunlight is necessary, but not too harsh because they are still delicate. It's been 4 weeks that we planted these seeds and they grew, but then, I left them outside and slugs had a good time there. They just ate up all the seedlings. Only these two are left. And I see one here in the corner and this one here, but they have no leaves, so I don't think they'll survive. So I'm just going to transplant these now. So when you want to transplant something, there are 3 things you have to think about. One is that you should transplant only when they have developed true leaves. So in the beginning, from the seeds, the seed leaves come out, which are the first 2 leaves, which are very different than the actual leaves that the plant has later on. And then the true leaves come out. In some plants, they are very similar, but in most plants, they are different. So the true leaves should have come out. So here in both of these, true leaves have come out. Normally I would wait a little longer, but I am worried that slugs will eat them up. So I want to transplant them now. Second thing is that always acclimatize your plants, meaning these saplings, if they were supposed inside, and now suddenly you bring them outside and transplant them, so they get 2 shocks. One, that the weather outside and inside is very different, so that is one shock, and then the second shock is of transplant. So instead, what you do is that first you bring them outside wherever you want to plant them and leave it there for a few days. So that way they get accustomed to the weather. So that is one thing. And then you can transplant them. So you still give them both the shocks, but they are like one by one, not both together. And the third thing is that try to do this in the evening, so that they don't get direct sun after they are transplanted, because otherwise they'll wilt. Or if they're in containers like this, then of course after transplantation you can put them in a shaded area, and then any time is fine. So in this planter, so this is a big planter, it is probably 3-gallon planter. It is 1 foot tall and about 10 inches in width, and it has a lot of organic soil, and mostly actually compost and some perlite, so and some cocoa peat, but very little cocoa peat. So compost of course for nutrition, and vegetables, all vegetables and fruits, they require a lot of nutrition, so you need to give them rich soil, and then perlite for good drainage, and of course the planter has good drainage at the bottom. So I've just made a hole in the middle, and I'm going to take out this whole pod here, just push it out. So if you look at this, the roots are healthy, so hopefully it will survive. So I'm just going to plant it here. And it's only one plant, so I don't need to disturb anything. Just press it around. And now I'm going to water it and keep it in a shaded area, and just for one day, and then move it to partial sun. And as they start to grow, I'll keep you posted. And of course, they require sun. So right now, because the sapling is very young, so I'm going to keep it in partial sun. But once it becomes taller, then I can move it in an area where it gets 4 or 5 hours of direct sun. It's been about 4 weeks that we transplanted our saplings here, and they are at least 4 times the size we planted. So, and they are in an area where they get a lot of sun, about 5-6 hours of sun, and they are pretty happy here. It's been almost 3 months from the time we planted the seeds, and they are about a foot tall, and now I see some flowers or some buds forming here. So here are our pepper plants, and there are a lot of flowers, and if you can see here, let me show you the close-up. In the middle of this flower you can see the pepper forming. So it's getting there. There are a lot of flowers. Look at these peppers now. 3 of them growing here, and they're about 1.5 inch long and maybe 2 inches wide. They'll grow even more, but very happy that I'm finally going to get some peppers from here. And even in this one, you can see there are peppers growing. Oh, there is a big one here. Oh, I didn't notice that. Wait, I'll show you. There's a big one here. This is about 3 to 4 inches long and 2 inches wide. So probably this is ready. Maybe I'll see for another few days, and if it is still growing, and then I'll leave it. Otherwise, I'll pick it. If you look at this now, this has grown really big. It's time to pick it now. Look at this. So beautiful, shiny, green. And there are more developing here. And if you look at this second plant, there are so many growing here. You can see more flowers on the top. So growing bell peppers is pretty straightforward. They are a warm weather plant. So if you are starting the seeds and it is cold outside, then you start the seeds inside. And then when they are big, you can transplant them outside. They like sun, but if the sun is too hot, it may not be good. So you'll have to watch your plants and decide if they will be better in partial sun or in full sun. And they also require a lot of water. If the plant becomes too big, you may want to put a stake so that the plant is supported. In my case, I didn't have to. Also, if you want, you can put some fertilizer in it so that it grows more bell peppers. Phosphorus or potassium rich fertilizer you can add to the soil. So I hope this video was useful to you. If you have any questions, leave a comment and I'll try to answer as soon as possible. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to share it with your friends and family. And I'll see you next time. Happy gardening. Bye.